this is Vicky, also known as DragonflySoars. It's about 5:30 on Tuesday, October 16th. Yes, this is a day late. The title of this episode, Flooring, is the reason why. That and Rhinebeck planning too. So this weekend, the cats are at my parents' because of the upcoming Rhinebeck and Switzerland trips. And so best friend and I decided to do the flooring on the downstairs level. So in my condo, the downstairs level is just one open room essentially. That's the kitchen and the living room. It is mostly carpeted, but by the front door, and in the front door, the front patio, and the garage door all face the same direction and are pretty close to each other, so I never use the front door. Only door-to-door salesmen use the front door. Everybody else comes in the garage or the patio. Anyway, by the front door, there was big chunky tile. The kitchen had the same big chunky tile, and then by the garage entry, same tile. And they were also cut at weird angles. So when you looked in the room, everything looked smaller because it was kind of visually broken up. Like if you're watching things like What Not to Wear, one of the things they tell you is to watch where your lines are, because sometimes you'll look shorter because you've color blocked yourself into these little mini pieces. That was kind of what the room looked like. So I wanted new flooring, the same flooring all throughout. I'm not real fond of carpet. I spill stuff. Cats throw up. It never stays clean. I mean, best friend has actually shampooed it, and within a couple days, there were bad spots all over. And it wasn't that we haven't tried to clean it. It's just, and some of them, even the spots he cleaned, the old spots came back up. So I hate carpet. I really don't like it. So we got a hardwood, or not hardwood, but a laminate from Lumber Liquidators that it is in the color called Angel Fire Cherry. So I'm going to show you a couple pictures. There's before picture. I forgot to take a before picture of the kitchen, and I wish I had. I might have one floating around somewhere, but it's a actual photograph, a hard copy. Anyway, I'll show you before picture. Two of them. One is just kind of the room, and another one that's a close-up of the tile. And then one of what the kitchen area looks like now, and what the rest of the living room looked like a couple days ago. So, as of this moment, almost the entire floor is done. There is a small, maybe 6x6 area that we need to do tomorrow night. One of the things is we were trying to be considerate of the neighbors and not work past 7. So, on the weekends we said we'd only work 9 to 7. And honestly, we didn't start at 9 and then go. We kind of took our time. We went and got breakfast. We had coffee. But at the same time, by the time we worked through the whole day, we were beat. And so then last night, we came home from work. We left work at exactly 4, got home about 4:30, and worked from 4:30 until a little after 7. Got a huge chunk done, because now we're on the straight parts. And anyway, tonight I have to lay plastic in the last little bit, but that won't take me very long. And then tomorrow he'll come over and finish it up. But basically what we were doing is he was doing all the measuring and cutting and stuff, and I would like go and I was laying out plastic, I was laying out cork underlayment, I was laying out the next set of boards. So we were just moving. I mean, it actually worked really well, but anyway, flooring took up basically the entire weekend. And then yesterday, we were doing flooring, like I said, and then we stopped because I needed to go to knit night. Now, I don't normally do Monday night knit night anymore, but there's 4 of us going to Rhinebeck together. The other 3 all go to Monday night knit night, so I went there so that we could talk about any plans we needed to deal with for Rhinebeck. So, Rhinebeck, there is a podcaster meetup at 1 p.m. on the hill where the Ravelry meetup usually is. I don't know where that is. I'm hoping to catch up with some people that do. I'm also a square in Rhinebeck Bingo, but I think if you haven't signed up to be a player already, it's going to be too late because she's supposed to send out the bingo cards. She was planning on sending out the bingo cards tonight, maybe tomorrow. It got started a little late this year, so I don't think very many people even knew it was happening. So, alright. So my whole life is revolving around Rhinebeck, Switzerland, and getting ready for those things. So, and the flooring. Alright, so I did work on the Everlasting Love Shawl, but I only did 2 pattern rows, 2 plain rows, 4 rows total. So I'm now at 154 out of 200. I'm making progress, but it takes about an hour, hour and a half per round. About an hour and a half if it's a pattern round, and about an hour if it's a not pattern round. And I had the brilliant idea that I could do some of it during conference calls. And actually, I did okay, but on one row, I messed it up. And luckily, I was able to kind of fake it on the next round and said, hell with it. Nobody else is going to know. In each repeat, it's symmetrical. And you were supposed to bring 5 stitches into one on each side. Well, on some of them, I did it on one side and forgot the other side. So on the next round, the plain round, I just gathered up the 5 stitches and called it good enough. I do need to, I keep saying this, I definitely need to wind my other ball of yarn before I go anywhere because this is all I have left. So it's one of those things on the to-do list. I have like a billion items on my mental to-do list. So I need to wind yarn for that. I also worked on the twitchy socks. The last time you saw them, I had just finished this pink section. So all of this is new. I will probably just do a little bit more and then start some ribbing. I'm going to show you guys a picture of how I'm going to decide where to put the afterthought heel, because these are going to be true afterthought because I didn't stop to figure out where it should be. So I'll put that picture here. Alright, so what you saw was that I'm going to start it right about this blue and white stripe above the pink. Which means the rest of this from that point on is already cuff. So, and I don't like super long socks. So I'll probably go a little bit farther and then do about 1.5 inches of ribbing and call it good enough. Yeah, that's it. I took that to conference calls. We went to go see Trouble with the Curve, which is the new Clint Eastwood baseball movie. Took it to knit night. It kind of was just around this week. I took it to when I met best friend for lunch, and I had to wait for him, so it's just been around. Alright. I'm going to stop this for just a second so that I can turn on some lights because the sun just disappeared and I have a feeling this is going to be dark. Right. Hopefully that's a little better. Next thing, since I'm planning on what I'm taking with me on my trips, I will be taking the twitchy socks because I always carry around something easy to knit on. I'm also going to start a project. I showed you guys this a while back. It's called the Dungarees Cowl. It's pretty simple. It has seed stitch, stockinette, kind of ruffled up, some Latvian braids, and a texture stitch in the middle. I'm figuring it will be interesting enough to keep me busy, but easy to continue on while I'm out and about. I am making that out of my Gnome Acres hand spun, which right now I don't remember what this was. I think it's merino top. This is the one that the colors got a little muddy, but if you look, it's just full of all different colors. And I thought this cowl would just really add texture and work with it. This will be my first time knitting with my hand spun. So this is another thing that I need to get skeined up before I go anywhere. I'm not as worried about that one coming with me to Rhinebeck, but I do want it to go with me to Switzerland. So, speaking of spinning, I started spinning a skein from Knitty and Color, and here's some pictures. So that is Knitty and Color Merino Tencel 50/50 in the Sunburst colorway. And I was trying to figure out what to spin next, and I kind of just wanted to have something on the wheel, and best friend picked that one. I just basically handed him my iPad loaded with my Ravelry hand spun and said, anything that you can tell is not already spun, that's what I have, pick something. So he picked that one because he liked the vibrancy of the colors, especially the yellow. So so I started spinning it. I have over an ounce done in one evening. About 3 hours worth of spinning. I only spun one day. For one thing, when we started the floor, I moved my spinning wheel upstairs because I didn't want to chance it getting sawdust in it. So there's just a lot of stuff floating around. So between we had to chop up the tile. We weren't trying to chop it up. We were just getting the tile up, and it left its own dust, and then there's sawdust, and I didn't want that getting in pretty. So she got to come upstairs. She's I think she's lonely. She's in my son's room. But I took her outside to take the picture in the sunlight that you saw. And I told her she's going to look very pretty against the new floor. And yes, I talked to her. Let it go. Alright. I got 2 things in the mail this week. One of them I actually apparently got when I was at my parents' house and just never checked the front door and realized I got it, and I totally forgot about it. So, the item I forgot about is Cast On Bind Off. It has 33 cast-ons and 20 bind-offs by Leslie and Bestor. It has a spiral bound, so you can lay it flat while you're working, which is awesome if you're holding something and you want it laid, you want to be able to just set it down and look over at it. It has a ton of cast-ons. I actually sat down and started really looking through this. I didn't get all the way through it, but I was happy. So, there are cast-ons, and they're in chapters of basic, stretchy, decorative, circular, double-sided. Anyway, there's different chapters. Same with the bind-offs. And then if you go to, like, let's say page 18 is the chapter for the basic cast-ons. And it shows you a whole picture of what the finished cast-ons look like, so that you can see, compared to each other, what they will look like visually. And then it has the page number for where the cast-on is. On each of the cast-ons, it has a picture like this, where it shows the front side and the back side of what the cast-on will look like. It shows close-ups. It has, very clear step-by-step pictures. Some of them were a little confusing, but it's because I was looking at it without actually holding yarn and needles in my hand. I will say there are a couple poses that look awkward, but I think it's because when you're working, you're fluid. When you have to stop halfway through a motion so that somebody can take a picture, you just end up kind of hovering weird. So, but I thought the yarn they used was, in all the yarn, the stitch definitions are very nice. In each of them, it tells you characteristics and what it's good for. So, like, this is Jenny's, it's a slip knot cast on. Has a very stretchy edge, neat in appearance when followed by ribbing. Good for adding stitches at the end of a row, good for buttonholes. It has little hints about getting it right. I am normally a long tail cast on person. That's what I normally will go to. The other thing I will use is I will use Tilly Buddy's stretchy cast on when I'm doing socks or hats. It's a really easy cast on, and yet every time I do it I always have to look it up real quick. It's actually in this book with permission. That was my favorite one. It's also linked, if you go to my show notes blog, there's a techniques page. The Tilly Buddies is down in the socks section under the cuff down socks. But, you can use it for anything. Anyway, and then it's got just the same kind of hints for the bind-offs. So, it says it retails for $16.95. I think I paid $11 something on Amazon. But well worth it. That's one I'm going to be going to, because I do want to, get a little bit of variety. Or sometimes you're looking for something specific. You're looking for a certain characteristic, and it would be nice to know ahead of time what you're getting into. So that was one thing. The other thing that came was Blue Moon Fiber Arts Rock and Sock Club. And this one was late, so we had to wait for it. They sent us an apology, but I don't remember what the reason was. So, it did come, and, I didn't take it out. Sorry. I was laughing, I watched Knit One Heart 2, and they kind of had the same opinion of this as I did, so I don't feel so bad. This is not my favorite. There is a solid that is, just a khaki tan color. It's called It's Not All About Me Brown. And then there is another one that is really pretty. This is their silky. The brown tan is Socks That Rock Lightweight. The colored one is their silky blend, and it is called It's About Me All the Time, which I do find kind of funny. But I looked at this one and I was kind of, It just wasn't, and I have to be honest, I had heard so much about the Rock and Sock Club that I was really excited to join it. And it hasn't really been there hasn't been anything that I've, like, truly fallen in love with. Like, there's the purple that I'm giving away for the Click for Babies. It's a really gorgeous purple. I don't wear anything really bright purple. Tiff might have liked it, but it came up. I decided to donate it for the prize instead. And I know Sheila made her recent shawl out of this. And her shawl looks beautiful. It's just not a color I care for, and I don't tend to buy a lot of solids. And maybe that's part of it. It's a solid, and I'm just kind of like, well, that sounds horrible. So, and the last one we got was the one with the chickens. I have no desire to make anything with chickens on it. So, I'm sorry. It's just not, I will not be renewing. There's too many other things that I do get excited about. So, but this one anyway is about, this one has, it has the dyer's notes again. I will say I like the hat. This is designed by Franklin Habit. It's a colorway hat. There's the top. I think there's a better picture in here. I like the look of the hat. And it doesn't look particularly complex either. So, I like the hat pattern. It also came with a sock pattern. The hat is the buckthorn cap by Franklin Habit. And I like Franklin Habit. I mean, he's good people. The socks are by Anna Zilberg, also somebody that I greatly respect. It's really hard to see in these pictures that there is color running through them. They look like fancy cabled lace. If you look carefully, you can see that the color is in between. One thing that this says is that it has a free sole, in quotes. You can remove all or any part of it and replace it as the necessity arises. So, that was kind of interesting, at least. But, anyway, I am going to be giving this away. So, I will put a contest thread up for this. And if you would like to win it, just post in the thread that you would like to win it. Say something nice about it. Say what you plan to do with it, whether you want to do one of these patterns or whether you're going to do something else with it. But I want it to go to a good home. In the future, I will probably give away the chicken one too, but I didn't pull it out. So we'll open this. I will not be recording next week, so we will pull names the week after, which is fine because I normally do 2-week intervals anyway. So, and you must be a member of the group to enter. Speaking of, while I am in Rhinebeck in Switzerland, I am going to be looking for some prize items, probably one from each place. And I already know that the theme for winning those, because going to Rhinebeck is a new adventure for me. Going to Switzerland and staying by myself to just wander around is new for me. I mean, yes, I'm going with other people, but they're all ditching and coming home on Friday, and I'm not coming home till Sunday. So there's going to be a contest about what's something new you've done. But I'm not starting that one yet. I will not start that one until after I get back and record so you can see what the prizes will be. So that's just an upcoming item. Other than that, I think we're all done. I wasn't sure if I was going to get a chance to record, but since I'm not recording next week, I really wanted to get something to you guys. So, I will see you guys in 2 weeks. I'll talk to you later. Bye.